Alright, so let's start this video off with this. This video contains massive spoilers. If you've not seen the movie, you probably don't want to watch or listen to this review. Now with that out of the way, because if I don't say that, if I don't put in the title, people will bitch at me. So if you want to bitch now, you're going to be blocked. So, let's say, how can I say this? With the movies in the past, after movie 3, so movie 4, 5, and 6, they cut out a lot. They cut out a lot and they cut out the important things and put in a bunch of filler that was never in the books, that never made sense, that no one ever wanted. This movie does not do that. Granted, it does have a couple parts that were not in the book that you're thinking, okay, what's going on here? But at the same time, a second after you think what's going on, you realize what's going on, and they just kind of change the book up a little bit. So I mean, it worked out. I can't think of any scene in this movie that I was sitting there thinking, okay, what's going on? I don't remember any scene that was like that. I really don't. Every scene was perfect. Annoyingly, the acting, I don't want to say it's poor. There are some very terrible acting moments where I was like, why did they why didn't they reshoot this scene, because it was bad? I can't give off examples, sorry. But if you've seen the movie, then you might be able to point them out for me. I hope anyway. So, like I said, massive spoilers for this reason. I'm picking this movie apart bit by bit because this was an amazing movie, 2.5 hours long, and the ending was not what I thought it was going to be. If you Google search the ending for it, they said that it was when the Snatchers caught them and they were trying to figure out who they were, and I was like, okay, how can they end this? It does not end with the Snatchers. It goes a little bit further, and the ending is perfect. Like, it's a perfect cliffhanger. It really is. I saw it coming when moments before it happened, and I'm like, this is the perfect ending. It really was. I'm so happy that they did it. They perfected it. So let's start this off. The beginning of this, it does not start off like the book. The book starts off with Snape and Yaxley appearing at Malfoy's Manor, and they go in for the meeting. The movie starts off a little bit differently. It starts off showing, I'm pretty sure it shows Hermione off first, and then it just goes through the, Hermione, Ron, and Harry, and it shows what they're doing. It shows Hermione, she uses the memory spell to erase her parents' memories. Kind of cool. Shows Ron, can't remember what he was doing, getting food maybe, I don't know. And then it shows the Dursleys leaving. This scene I was actually shocked by. I was kind of expecting them not to show it, because the 6th book had the Dursleys, the beginning of the 6th book was the Dursleys and Dumbledore leaving. And the Dursleys were in the book quite a bit in the beginning, but the 6th movie had no Dursleys at all. This one showed them a little bit, not much. It shows them leaving. Dudley's doing this whole, I don't get why we have to leave, and Vern's, basically saying, hey, we have to leave. It's, it's too dangerous to stay here. And eventually, it gets to the point where everyone shows up at Harry's house, and this is the one thing I forgot to mention. This is a bad point, and I was annoyed throughout the movie when they did this. They try to add in funny moments that are just not funny. They're funny for people who are idiots, don't get me wrong, but they're not funny in any other way. And of course the whole theater was laughing because, well, the whole theater was fucking idiots. Don't get me wrong, there is humor in this movie. There's a nice bit of humor. But there are just moments where I was like, this wasn't needed. Why bother? Like the scene where they all turn into Harry, the 7 Harrys. That scene at first had a bit of humor, because it showed I can't remember if it was Fred or George. It shows him shoot down instantly, which I laughed at that one, and then I saw it coming with the next one, obviously. Oh, they finally show a couple people. I am so fucking happy. They showed Mundungus, who looks completely different than I thought. He looks more like a gambler, a short, bald gambler. It's pretty funny. And they showed Bill Weasley. I was so fucking happy. He looks a bit different than I thought. I was expecting a bit taller and an actual ponytail, but he had more. He had like the twins kind of hair, and he had some nice scars on his left cheek. Looked really cool. But he came in and introduced himself as Bill Weasley. I was just like, finally. He was supposed to be in the 4th movie, and I think in the 5th or 6th he was supposed to be in as well. They never showed him up until now that I remember. So I'm just very happy that they showed him. Percy is not in this movie, thank God. I think was he in the book? I think he's in the book at the end, so maybe, obviously, he'll probably be in at the end, but he wasn't in the first part. I can't say I'm, disappointed. I didn't like him after the 2nd movie, but anyway, so they turn into Harry, and even in the beginning right away, there's just moments where, like, when Hermione's the one that grabs the hair from Harry, she just walks up, grabs it, and the way Harry said his line was just so bad. I wasn't a fan of it, but whatever. So this is the sucky part, because I'm like, this is where Hedwig and Mad-Eye Moody die. And I actually was just reading the book a couple hours before I left, and I can't help but cry at Hedwig dying. I never saw a point in Rowling doing it besides to make people cry. Like, not trying to purposely hurt people, but saying, it's a random death that no one saw coming. And the movie did it in such a better way. The book, as you remember, if I remember, something like the cage falls, and then, she gets hit by a curse, or I think maybe she got hit by a curse and then the cage fell, but she was still in the cage, so she had no chance at all. And in the movie, remember, spoilers, in the movie, first off, when they take off into the air, and as soon as you see the Death Eaters, it's so cool because Harry and Hagrid were like behind everybody, so everyone else was already disappearing, and then Hagrid and Harry get through the clouds, and boom, you just see hundreds of Death Eaters flying around chasing everybody. It was so amazing. I was just very happy with that. But the way Hedwig dies is she actually, and this is actually how they find out it's Harry, because and again in the book, Harry uses the Expelliarmus spell, and they realize it's Harry because that's his signature move, as they think. And in the movie, though, they change it up to Hedwig attacks the Death Eater that's attacking Harry, and then when she, comes around for another one, she gets hit by the curse, and I don't care. I cried. I'm like, I was annoyed that Hedwig died. I thought maybe because when Harry first walks out of his house, Hedwig flies off. I was like, maybe they're not going to kill her. And then they killed her. I was like, ugh. I wasn't too sad when they announced that Mad-Eye died. I was sad in the book, but in the movies, there's like, Mad-Eye died. I'm like, eh. Oh, but was it Fred or George? I can't remember. I want to say it was George. I don't remember, though. The one that got his ear cut off by Snape. He makes that joke that he does in the book, I feel saint-like, and they're like, what's wrong with him? He's like, I'm holy. Get it? I'm holy. And they do the joke like word for word from the book. It just sounded odd to me. I don't know why. It was good though. It made me chuckle because I saw it coming. As soon as he said saint-like, the whole theater laughed because we knew what was coming. Again, it was the midnight showing. Everyone there should be a Potter fan. But it was pretty good. Annoyingly, they didn't show them go to Tonks's place. They just showed it going right to the Weasleys. But I didn't really care about that part. It was just meh. Voldemort flying was kind of cool, though. I'll admit. Voldemort himself, and this is pretty cool. So yeah, moving on. The first scene that they showed that just didn't match up was Harry is leaving the house randomly at night. And Ron comes on, he's like, "Oh, where are you going?" Blah blah blah. And if you remember from the book, Harry was about to leave right, and it was when everyone was still up and everything, and everyone's telling him that he can't leave. You know, all this was for him. You know, Mad Eye would have died for no reason. Blah blah blah. And in the movie, it's the same thing, but only Ron talking to him. So kind of dumb. And then the wedding, Harry did not have a disguise. He was just Harry Potter. I was kind of annoyed by that. I don't know why. I was annoyed. I was waiting for it. We don't see Victor Crumb that I know of. He was in the book a little bit there. He's the one that points out the sign on Xenophilius Lovegood. We do see Xenophilius, obviously. He starts off good, but then at the end he kind of just, But I don't know. The wedding itself seemed a tad bit long, but at the same time it ended nicely. Death Eaters just rushed in and just started attacking people like crazy, and then they run off, obviously. And yeah, and I'm actually pretty damn tired, so I'll be finishing this review in part 2. This is probably going to be a multi-part video, but just ahead of schedule. This movie deserves a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 5 stars, whatever. It was a fantastic movie. Remember, 2.5 hours long though, so be ready for that. But a fantastic movie. I'm glad I went to the midnight release, or midnight premiere showing, whatever you want to call it. So, remember, left off with them leaving the wedding. I gotta remember that because I'm going to bed. But I will see you guys when I get up and make the next parts of this review. But again, great movie. I recommend you go see it now. And good night, guys.